We are back at the coast property today. I have a project I've been wanting to work on. I wanted to do it last summer, but I got caught up dealing with all these blow down trees. I want to work on this spot over here. This all used to be more meadow, but it's grown up into more of a mess of blackberries and junk, along with some poison oak. I have a couple different options. I could let the trees grow up really thick, like here, to where they'll shade everything out so not much will grow here. That can be nice and low maintenance, but if I let the trees grow up thick, I'm going to lose this open area. This used to be more open, but the trees are encroaching into it. This is all eventually going to be shaded out and turn into deep dark forest, which can be nice in a lot of cases. A lot of cases we do want deep dark forest, but this property has a lot of deep dark forest. Open areas are fairly rare. It would be nice to preserve at least a little bit of open area for wildlife habitat, and just because it looks nice and it's a lot easier to dry firewood when it gets sun. Just on the other side of all this, it opens up into more of a grassland and a meadow. The meadow has been shrinking as these trees have been encroaching into it. From that meadow to up here used to be more open grassy area with some scattered trees. And if I or someone was ever going to build here, this would be the ideal spot. Used to have a little bit of a view. You can see a little bit of light back there to where the meadow is. Used to be able to see it from here. I'm thinking I want to thin these trees out between here and the meadow and try to maintain a partial shade open grassy area. That is, unless I think of an even better idea. But for now, I'm going to cut down the blackberries and poison oak. That's priority. What I don't want it to be is blackberries and poison oak. I know that much. I'm going to try the hedge trimmer attachment. I'm curious to see how it will work on this green grass before I get into the heavy blackberries. I think that cleaned up nicely. If I take out some of these excess trees, come back here during burning season, burn these slash piles, I think this place will clean up nice. This hedge trimmer attachment works really well. I'm glad our local Stihl dealer talked me into buying it. Of course, this is going to sprout back, but that was several years of growth. If I can mow this once or twice a year, that should keep this looking nice. I still have all that to do, but I think I got more than half of it. I piled this slash up against these trees a few years ago to try to discourage the bears from tearing the bark off and killing them. That is a big problem here. Of course, a bear could get past that, but a little bit of discouragement causes them to move on to somewhere else sometimes. That is a real problem here. But lately, I think the bears have been working on the timber company's property more. The trees they have are a little bit smaller, and they are prime size for the bears. These ones are a little bit bigger than what they prefer here, unless they can climb up them and peel the bark out of the tops of them. I cut the lower limbs off to make it harder for them to do that. There's so many trees in here, if they took a few of them out, wouldn't be too big of a problem in this spot. In other places, it's a big problem. That's what took most of the time doing this today, pulling some of this slash away from some of these trees I piled it against. I didn't show it on camera because I didn't want to. They really prefer the redwood trees. I put some cages around some of these redwoods in this area to try to discourage them. Not practical to do on a whole forest scape. Forest scape, is that a word? It is now, but on these few key trees in this one area that I want to keep nice, I put a few up. They pulled this down, did a little bit of scratching here, but I think the wire is just enough to get them to move on, look for an easier target. After I finish this side of the road, I want to move over to this side and clean this up too. It's an even bigger mess, but I think it will clean up nicely all the way down to the spring. It's not very steep, just a gentle slope. When that's done, it should be a good view of green understory. On a video like this, someone's likely to say, just spray it all to kill the blackberries and the poison oak. We're not into the scorched earth approach here. I want to keep the native grasses and herbaceous plants intact, not just kill everything and have to reseed or do something like that, because that's not what we're doing here. That's it for today. I have some other things I need to go do. So we're going to call it a day and get back to that another day.